Hey everyone, welcome back. I have Kathy with me. Super good friend. We actually met in Conoco. We was both grabbing Dr. Pepper. And anyway, yeah, that's how we met. And she had seen my YouTube. And actually she ended up living pretty close to me. And so she started coming, and now I've been doing her hair for a long, long time. So super fun. I wanted to show you, we do a 6N. And I do a 6NN, so it covers gray better. And with the 20 volume, so I just come up, get these tiny little hairs. I always go through the part first, just obviously so it can start processing. And then I go around the hairline. So, of course, just get these little hairs down here. Gotta love all those little hairs, right? Okay. Yeah, Kathy is a sweetheart. She's such a good grandma. And she was a nurse for a long, long time. So she just likes to take care of people, don't you, Kathy? Yes, I did. Okay, so you can see I just go through the hairline, around the hairline, I guess I should say. All those little hairs. I always like to try to be very careful around these little hairs, just so it's nice and even, just so you don't have little, if you put it on sloppy, it'll make little, um, like different lines, if you know what I mean. If you've done it before, now you're like, oh yeah, all those little lines that are poking out. So if you just try to be careful and make your hairline just as even as possible, putting it on, it will help when you go to wash off, look better. Okay. So again, I'm just coming around the hairline. And as soon as I get around the hairline, then I go up by the part and just take little sections and make sure that it becomes saturated. Same thing on the back of the neck. You want to try to just make this as even as possible with those little hairs. Just keep them light. It's just, when you put color on and it's light like this before it processes, you don't see exactly, where you're putting it. So I always like to try to really watch exactly where I'm putting that color, so it's totally even when you're done. Okay, so then again, I come up in this part area, cover that good, take another little section, cover that, both sides. Okay. You can see that that's saturated nice. And then after I put all this color on, I love to take a comb and comb it through so it gets through the ends really nice also. And the key of taking little sections is that you really get that color in and get it colored even. If you take too big of sections, sometimes, the color won't be as even. So I like to take little sections. And then, of course, after, you can see that I'm just kind of going through the ends. There's the bottom area towards the head. I cover all of that first. And then once that is all covered, then I go back through and comb it out. So it will go through the ends, but I just do the root area first. And like I said, I use a 20 volume, and this is the 6NN. How you doing, Miss Kathy?
Doing good.
Okay, very good.
Always feels good to have somebody playing with your thing.
You know what? It's so true, right? Now that my granddaughter's old enough, I'm like, hey, Collins, you want to come and come do grandma's hair? I was shopping the other day and there was a cute, it's like a blow dryer and a little curling iron thing. And anyway, in the little blow dryer, you know, it's a play one, but you put batteries in and it turns on. And so, yeah, she was doing my hair. And of course, I was loving it. Loving it. Okay, then I'm going to come up on top. Okay, I'm going to tilt your head so I can show them. Thank you. Come over. You can see that I'm just getting the root area right now. Okay. I have a picture of when my dad was alive, the grandkids. He would let them put little barrettes. You know, they used to call them barrettes back in the day. You know, the little hair things. And oh my gosh, it is the cutest picture to have now. And he'd just let him do his hair, you know, clip in or comb or whatever. It was so cute. So you can see I'm just working my way down, just taking little sections, making sure you get the root area. You know, a lot of people will tell me when they've done their color at home that they'll just start slapping it on. And so that's how sometimes it won't get as even. It'll look lighter in one spot and darker in another. But if you just take the time to really just take little sections and do it more even, when you're done, it'll just be so much more even. Okay. Now what I do is just bring some color up through these ends, and then I'll show you how I just take the comb through. And you can see the teeth are a little bit further apart. It's the wide end of the teeth. I just start through the root area. This way you can just make sure it gets throughout, you know, all the hair evenly. Then just kind of bring it up through, comb it up. Another little massage, huh? With the comb going through it.
So
Good.
I'm hoping it'll stimulate my brain.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Oh, that's so great. Yep, get that brain stimulated so it'll work for the day, right? That's cute as heck. Oh, cute. Okay, you guys, now we will let this process. And as soon as it's done, we will show you her cute cut. And we will see you then. Thanks. Okay, so we have washed Kathy. Now what we are going to do is her cute cut. She said it is too bulky back here. She was having some issues with it, like curl. It's not like she has curl, but when it gets so long, it starts flipping out. So anyway, we are going to just take a tiny bit of this length off because she likes like the length part of it, but it needs to be tighter on her head. Yeah, we don't want it poking out. That is not fun to have to deal with. Okay, and then the way she wears her hair, We do, these short layers throughout, but she round brushes it and wears it soft. We do piece it out a little bit with some paste just to show off the layers. So I will show you that when we style. Okay, now I'm getting to this point, and this is where she wanted it tighter to her head. So you're going to angle your fingers in more, obviously tighter to the head. Then you don't have to deal with it as much, right? So, okay, and now I'm just holding that out. I'm following the section that I had cut right before that. That is my guide point. And then again, we are going to angle in tighter towards the nape of her neck. Okay, up here. Same thing, I'm just holding that straight out. And then in. So you can see these layers right here. I'm taking from that layer down into the bottom of the hair. Okay, taking this length, holding this out, but down at the same time, out and down this way for the sides. Okay, then, so we're leaving this length a little bit over her ears, but I need to bring this length in. So you can see this length from the ears. I'm just taking this length off back here on her neck. Yeah, that's going to be nice. I bet that was sticking out quite a bit for you. Because now that I'm taking this off, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was definitely probably sticking out. Okay, now this side, putting the layers in. And we do, is it every 5 weeks do we do, or do we do 6? Every 5, isn't it? That's what I thought. Okay. Yep, every 5 weeks. Okay. You can see there's more length I'm taking off back here, obviously, because she wants that tighter to her neck. Okay, and then we will come up through the top. We'll go straight across. Okay, hold this up. All right. Okay, now we're going to come to the sides. Now, her sides get bulky through this area, but we're liking the little bit of length over her ears. So I am going to keep that. Sorry, there's one little place I want to get right there. So we're leaving that, but we're going to bring in, so you see from this area up to that point, we're going to take that little bit off, that length. And that way it will help it so it doesn't get bulky. She hates when she has a little bubble right there, huh? Like, get rid of that. We do like the length here in the front, but we obviously need to just trim a tiny bit. So we're just going to come in here, trim a tiny bit, even over the ear, just so it stays nice and trimmed up. And then when I go to texturize, I like to texturize those sides just because they do get bulky. So again, I'm going to hold this out. There is that layer up there, and we're taking that length off there so we don't have the bulkiness. Okay, again, we're leaving this little bit of length over her ear. We're just going to trim this a little bit, but we do like the length. Okay, then through this area, we don't want it too bulky, so we're going to take a little bit of length out in between. That way it makes it so it's not so bulky here. It makes it a little bit more wispy. So there's different lengths in there, but we like to leave the main length, but take some out up in. And then same with her bangs. We like to make those a little piecey. She likes to leave that a little bit shorter through this area. So when we go to piece that out, it's a little shorter there. And then to come down into this side, again, we like the length. So we're just going to take a little bit of the bulk throughout. Okay, sweet. So I'm obviously going to hold everything out, make sure we're even. A little bit through this area. Take that. Okay, now we're going to come take the texturizing shears, and I'm going to go through these sides just so it takes a little bit of that bulk out, especially because she doesn't want that bulk coming back in, the 5 weeks. Especially with short hair, you can see a bigger difference. Like when you're coming back in 5 weeks when you have short hair, makes a huge difference. When it's longer, you don't really notice as much, but short hair, kind of funny when people are like, wait, you're going to get your hair cut? Isn't it short? And you're like, oh no, I definitely need a cut. Okay, now I'm just going to check back here and make sure this length is good. Okay. Okay, Kathy, will you fill that back there and see if that feels better?
Definitely better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, you bet. Is that short enough, do you think?
I think.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're going to do the Kenra mousse. This is for volume. So if you need volume, I would recommend this mousse. It's a good one. And it's not a ton of money. So that's always nice. Okay, so I rub that in really good. Then I'm going to put this volume and lift spray throughout. And then we will round brush. So I'm just going to dry this down. If you have hair that grows out that's a little more pokey, I've told Kathy, I've helped her try to just dry this down so it doesn't poke out by the ears. And then we round brush up through here down in to the side. So we'll do that.
Pop it.
So you can see I'm just drying by her ears down. Same with this side, just going down on those sides. And then the top, I'm going to do more movement. Okay, then I'm going to come through the back. Then see, I'm just going back. And then these sides, I'm just round brushing up here and letting everything else fall so it doesn't poke out here. So same thing up here is you're round brush this top coming down into the side. Okay, then the sides, we're going to make sure those are dry good. In the back, through here. And down on the sides. In front. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of paste. I'm going to turn her to the front. And then we will style with a little bit of back combing to give it a little bit. So yes, we take and piece out the front and the layers a little bit. But it is just more of, you know, a round brush and soft look, no spiky, nothing. But yet you can still have, you know, the layers and piece them out. But it's really cute. Let's see. Okay, now I'm just going to back comb a little bit. Through the top area. Okay, and then I'm going to spray. And then put it back into place. Okay. How are you feeling, sweetie? Good. Good.
I wondered why they started calling it, well, when I was a kid, ratting your hair.
I know. Well, and it's so funny because that's just like a ton of people will still say that. They'll be like, I need to wrap my hair. I need, you know, and then, you know, went to teasing and then back combing. And so it's so funny, you know, to hear the different ways of, but yeah, ratting your hair. It's so funny. Like, I don't know, when people say, oh, my hair looks like a rat's nest, or, you know, it's so funny, the difference. It just cracks me up. Okay, I'm going to turn her around so you can see we've gone tighter towards her neck. So that's going to be easier, but it's so cute, like coming back into the back and piecing out the front. So cute, Kathy. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for your support. Hope you learned something new today, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you. See ya.